What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about Jedi Battle Scars by Sam Maggs. First of all, please excuse if my voice sounds a little bit weird. The summertime, the springtime, whatever, this wonderful weather that we are having does not agree with my body. My throat currently wants to die. I'm a huge fan of Jedi Fallen Order, which is the video game that came out not too long ago. It was about Cal Kestis and Marin and just this beautiful story of this 5 years later look at the building of the Empire, these Jedi on the run, and this family that comes together on the Mantis crew. And it's so freaking good. If you haven't played that game or you haven't watched a walkthrough of that game, I highly recommend it. And I have been desperate for a book to go along with that game. And now that the second game is coming out later on this month, of course they were finally going to come out with a book, and that book we got is Battle Scars. Now, the premise of this I do actually like. So this is largely, I would say, Marin focused, and Marin is my favorite character. She's a Night Sister. She is so freaking cool. She had like everything taken from her. She's very vengeful. It's awesome. This is largely a Marin story. However, I think that the tone of this book is really, really weird, and largely I found myself thinking that if you are a fan of the game, you're probably not gonna get a lot of enjoyment out of this book. And then on the flip side, if you read this book and then decide to like experience the game, I don't think you're gonna like the game. Battle Scars takes place like a couple of years after Fallen Order, so we're in like the years or months or whatever leading up to Jedi Survivor, but largely I feel like it doesn't have like a huge like way on the overall plot. We're mostly seeing our Mantis crew deal with like this mission. They come across a stormtrooper who's like, hey, I know you guys, like, can you please help me? I'm trying to leave the order, like I'm trying to leave the Empire, can you please help me? And they're like, what? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to trust this person. And what was interesting is that it is largely centered on Marin and like her story, but what I didn't like is that Marin does feel a little bit out of character to me. She does get a new love interest in this book, and yes, I do ship her and Cal. However, the thing that bothers me with this love story is that it feels a little bit too fluffy for Marin's character. Like, she's a really like angsty, dark character who's dealt with so much trauma and so much hardship, and that really does get pushed aside in this book for this like fluffy crush love at first sight type of story. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just feel like it doesn't really fit this character. When it comes to the other characters, Cal's the other one who gets like a lot of time within this book, and he just comes off as like really dumb, and like Cal is, you know, very baby girl and that kind of thing, but he's like is really coming off like a 12-year-old who doesn't know anything at all. And especially after the trauma that was dealt to him, you know, within Order 66 and within Fallen Order the game, again, it just doesn't really fit with this story. There were some times when they would be sitting on the Mantis and the crew would be talking, and they would like almost brush up on, you know, like what happened with Trilla and Vader and all of those things, but then it would immediately kind of be erased, and it just had like a very weird pace to it. Speaking of the pace, this book is under 300 pages, and it's paced very strangely. Like, the third act of the book is literally like 30 pages. It's very strange. Sometimes this book feels like it's dragging, and then at other times it feels like it's not given enough time. And overall, I get this feeling that this book was written either very hastily or was written to be something else and then tailored to be kind of a lead up to the Jedi Survivor game that's coming out. I don't think any of this is necessarily to say that Sam Maggs like is a terrible writer or anything like that, because I do feel like she had the bones of a really good story. I wonder if it just got lost in the marketing, or if they wanted to take it in a different direction, or just what happened. But obviously something creative really got in the way of the story here, because what we get is just something that I don't think is really for people who already know these characters, and then people who are introduced to them this way, I don't think are gonna like the way that they're portrayed in the game, because they're just completely different. So for me, I'm giving this book a very conservative D+. I do think that I'm not completely turned off of Sam Maggs' writing, because I do like her queer representation and things like that, but I also do think that this story was not suited for these characters at all, and I don't know who it's for, so I really am just unable to recommend it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit the like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to Talk Books with me every week. That's everything I got for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!